Hey, welcome back to Lessons Learned. This is Sherry, and we are in the midst of a sew-along. This is the vintage block cactus pot, and we're turning it on point. Normally it would be like this. It's sewn into a quilt. We're going to turn it on point, and there is a part 1 and a part 2 in this series that's out there that is linked in this video in the description if you would like to go see those first before you try to get started. Today I'm going to go on to the sewing part. Now I'm not going to actually show you sewing at the machine, but we're simply making 1/4 inch seams in different sections of this block. But what I mainly wanted to talk to you about was now that you've got your pieces cut out, how many do you need for each block and what kind? So we have cut out 4-inch blocks of background for our pot and for our cactus. So this is the cactus, this is the pot, this is the background. So you're going to need 4 that are cactus and background, 4 of those. Then you're going to need 2 that are pot and cactus, 2 of those, and then you're going to need 2 that are background and pot. So I'm going to go ahead and iron these and get those open, and then I'm also showing you here that for our 3.5 inch blocks that we've already cut, now none of your 3.5 will be sewn into half square triangles, so you'll just have your 3 piles: background, cactus, and pot. So you'll pull from those to make your block, and in each block you'll have 2, 3, 4, 5, you'll have 6 background, and then you'll have 1 cactus and 1 pot out of these piles. So you'll definitely have cut more of these than these. And as a repeat on the pattern changes that I had, you need 36 4-inch background pieces, 36 4-inch cactus pieces, and 24 4-inch cactus pots. And you will have some leftover half square triangles from that, but not too many. If for some reason you went by the old directions where it was 72, 72, and 48, you definitely have way too many half square triangles. But you will be able to use those in your quilt if you stay along with me for part 4, where I will show you how to put on the setting squares and triangles and a possible border if you have those extra half square triangles laying around that didn't happen to fit in anywhere. Okay, so let me go ahead and iron out my half square triangles, and then I'll show you how these are set together. Okay, so take your pattern illustration right here and lay these out on a board, on your ironing board, on your cutting board, by your sewing machine, however, whatever room you have to do it on, and get these all where they need to go. I'm going to move these out of the way. Let's see, this one goes here. Just like always, it's a little puzzle. Okay, so there's all our half square triangles in their positions. So now all we have to do is fill in with our 3.5 inch. So we need a green one here, and we need a black one here, and then that makes that go this way and this way. And then we need some white ones. And then mine happens to have a little pattern to it, so I'm just kind of turning them opposite of each other depending on what's next to it. Like if this one goes this way, I turn that one that way. You can do your background however you like. So this one I'll turn that way. There we go. Okay, there's my next block. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at these as two columns, and I need to sew these to each other in twos first, in pairs. So what I'm going to do, remembering that the right hand side is the side that I want to sew on, the right hand side of the block, not the left. I'll lay all those out like this, and then I will stack them on each other, leaving a little bit of space, not turning them or rotating them in any way. And then I'll take this stack over to the sewing machine and sew 1/4 inch on each one. Okay, so here is our chain of seams that we sewed. I'm going to go ahead and press these open. I press open simply because that's what I prefer. I don't always do that. It depends. If I'm following someone else's pattern and they have the arrows on there to press towards a certain side, I'll usually follow those. Here's where I usually have to start all over on the puzzle. That's okay. Okay, that took way too long. Okay, there we go. So now we have categories of 4 we need to put together. So we're going to put this one together and turn it, and this is your right hand side. So we're putting them together in the middle. So same thing, just keep that right hand side together, stack them up, go to your machine and sew on this right hand side. And then you can use pins here. Make sure you line up your seams in the middle instead of just starting evenly on either end. Match this up and then start at the top wherever that lands. Okay, here's our chain of doubles or quadruples, however you want to look at it. And so we will iron these open. And yes, you could sew rows of 4 rows of 4 if you wanted. I just like to do mine in quadrants. Seems like the accuracy comes out a lot better on the seams doing it that way. Okay, so there are our 4 pieces. Now we're going to do these doubles here. So right hand side again. Always the right hand side, and don't twist them. Alrighty. Now we're down to 2 pieces. Okay, and now we're down to just our last 2 sections here. So match them up in the middle. Kind of watch these seams as well, because you've got another seam that's matching on the back side. And there again, you're going to sew your right hand side. Alright, so there's another cactus block. It should finish at 12.5 inches square. So in my case, I have, out of the 12 total blocks, I have 2 blocks of each that have the same pot. Everything else is the same. Just remember that on your half square triangles, those are from your 4-inch squares. I did not put any instructions on how to construct and trim half square triangles or HSTs. There's myriad videos out there on how to do that, and probably some of your quilting books, if you have any, have instructions on how to do that. So look that up first if you're not familiar with half square triangles. But you will be cutting them down, trimming them down to 3.5, and there's many tools that will help you to do that. Just a regular ruler will help you to do that, And yeah, so you really just end up with a whole bunch of 3.5-inch blocks, 16 for each block. And they all go together nicely like this into a 12.5-inch square. So if you have any questions or concerns, put those in the comments or send me an email at lessonslearnt2021@gmail.com. So continue working on all of your cactus pot blocks, and next week for part 4 we will be working on the setting squares and triangles. So have fun, and we'll see you then. Bye.